are basically done. I mean, the college basketball schedule today it's crazy, man. Like, it is Sunday, and the last game was on at 4 o'clock. Last game started at 4 o'clock. So we got all day, all night to do nothing. What am I going to do, watch the NBA? Like, yeah, not a shot that's going to happen. It's a really good weekend in college basketball once again. Had a lot of really fun games. I think I did, what was it? So we did 19 plays out on the show on Friday. I ended up going 12-7 with a couple that I really thought kind of screwed out, but then we also kind of lucked into a couple as well. So, I mean, just how it goes. Like, everything comes back around at some point. But we found out a lot of things about a lot of teams, I think. Some of the races are kind of coming down to the wire at the point here. We're just going to run through all the games, just recap them as normal. I'm going to do this on a Sunday night this week. I actually... I kind of like doing it. It doesn't really work out when Connor's on the show, but for me, Sunday night, like right after everything's over with, I think that's perfect. That wraps the weekend up in itself, and it's getting there, man. I think we're really built to have like one of the all-time best March Madness tournaments we've ever seen before, and I think there's a really good chance that's going to happen this year. It's going to be sick. First game on the board here. Clemson drops another. Florida State 70, Clemson 65. Banged on this one early. Clemson's now lost, 4 in a row? Which is crazy, man. I thought they were one of the teams that, Brad Burnell kind of overachieved and was one of the real surprises to start this year off, and now it's kind of they're kind of coming back down to earth, man. They're like right on the bubble. I wouldn't be shocked tomorrow if we wake up and Clemson's one of the last few teams, they might be like a last 4 buys, because, what is that? I believe was 4 in a row. Let me double check that. Yeah, they were 10-1 at one point in ACC play before they dropped Virginia Tech, Duke, Wake Forest, and Florida State. Yeah, man, you're right on the bubble, and you still have Louisville and North Carolina on deck. Yeah, there's a chance Clemson's going to be right there. I do think they're still fine to get in, but, your team is going to be, to me, probably looking at like a first-round upset. Like 100%, I think they get upset in the first round. Depending on what seed they are, obviously. They might be a 10 seed. They're not being the 7 seed. Florida State, on the other end, man, look at these last bunch of games. After starting 7-11, 0-5 in ACC play, in year one under Luke Locks, Florida State beats Miami on the road. They lose at SMU on the road by 3. Then they beat Cal at home, beat Stanford at home, win at Notre Dame. Then they lose at home to Virginia by 3. And they beat Virginia Tech on the road, Boston College at home, and then just went to Clemson and got a win. Luke Locks is doing this, man. They're 14-13 on the year, and I think they're going to be... I think you'd be dumb not to take him as like a flyer in the ACC tournament the way they're playing. Now we're going to find out a little bit about him on Tuesday, play Miami again at home, and Miami's playing really good basketball. So we'll see what the Seminoles do here, but man, I really like this team. Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. Tech takes care of business, 82-63. This was kind of like the sharp play that never really came through for everybody. I know a ton of people liked Wake Forest this weekend. We were on the fence. I think on the show, we ended up taking Virginia Tech because we do like Virginia Tech. Wake's done. Forbes is done. Virginia Tech, you're still in the bubble, but you're kind of playing yourself back into having a real chance here. For them too. Is it possible that... It's definitely possible. I feel like if they do not have a shot at getting in and do not make the dance, Mike Young is probably also like right there on the cut line. Like, he's on the hot seat. He's been there for years. I know he got him, I think, I don't think he made the second weekend. He got him to the second round a couple, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But really, things haven't really been going well for him in Blacksburg. So it's a good win. You keep your tournament hopes alive. On deck for Virginia Tech is you do go to North Carolina next Saturday, so you get a week off. Then you get Boston College at home. And then you have a big one at Virginia. Virginia's looking for revenge after that first game. If you can get Virginia, especially at home, like, you're going to be right there, man. I think Virginia Tech is just as good as some of these other teams in the bubble, so why not? They dropped a couple they shouldn't have, but, I mean, you win the ones in front of you, man, you still got a chance here. That Carolina one's going to be tough on Saturday. Speaking of Carolina, Carolina gets it done. Now, this was the real fake sharp play. 77-64 over the Syracuse Orangemen. Everybody and their mom, it looked like, started to be all over Syracuse. This was the fake shark play, we called it. We ended up taking North Carolina on the show. Yeah, I mean, it was back and forth for a while, then they kind of pulled away, and then it looked like Syracuse was going to make a run, and then every time they did, it seemed like Hubert Davis and the Heels kind of had an answer for it. So it was a good one on the road for Carolina, because I think it's opened at Carolina -3.5. It closed at Syracuse being the favorite. So, yeah, good one for the Heels. Big one on deck tomorrow. You have Louisville on deck. So we'll see. I actually don't hate Carolina, man. I actually think Carolina's not terrible. If they really want to do something in the tournament, they're going to need Caleb Wilson back. You're going to need that to happen. Is the only way to do it. This was the one ACC game I got wrong this weekend. Virginia, 86, Miami, 83. The Hoos survive, but they do not cover the 7.5 number. This ended up dropping to 7.5. Yeah, more than anything, I texted Connor about this, like, when they were going back and forth, because it looked like Miami and Virginia were just like, it was a slugfest. Each team was shooting threes like crazy. They both couldn't miss. I was like, dude, win or lose this game, Miami's legit. Like, Jai Lucas has done a fantastic job in year one. 21-6, 10-4 in the ACC. Like, yeah, I think when you give him a couple years where he's be able to get some more players in, get his own recruiting classes, it looks like he's already really going to do a good job in the portal. He's like, Miami's got no shortage of money by any means. You bring some of these, you get some better guys in here that fit his system. Like, this is only year one. Like, I think Miami's going to be a force in the ACC for a long time as long as they got Jai Lucas there. That dude can coach. His in-game adjustments are really well. I just really like the guy. But then we also need to give flowers to what Coach Odom has done with Virginia after Virginia's just been terrible for the last couple years. 24-3, 12-2 in the ACC play. They're going to get kind of shit on, it looks like, with the seeding in the NCAA tournament, but, like, this is a team I think that could, like, make the Final Four. Like, why not? I said that to somebody that I actually, like, trust when it comes to, you know, like, their basketball opinion. He's like, dude, Virginia's not making the Final Four. And I was like, I'm not saying they're going to. But a team, you know, that's top 20, top 30 offensively, top 20 defensively, can shoot the three like crazy, is really good on the boards. Like, why not? Like, Odom's a good coach. He's been through some wars before. Like, I actually think Virginia has a legit chance to make the Elite Eight, the Final Four. And I think they're going to be the slept-on team in March, and I cannot wait to be the one that advances them a little bit farther than they probably should. Gross, but we locked it up. Pitt with the win over Notre Dame. Was final here, 73-68. Easy money here. Notre Dame's terrible. Pitt was so due. They've just been so bad for basically all season. You had to get this one. There's not a lot of winning spots on the board here, so this is one you had to get here, and Pitt took care of business against Notre Dame. Another one we hit here, Louisville beats Georgia Tech 87-70. I mean, we got 23.5. It was pretty simple. I mean, it was gross. We didn't really want to bet Georgia Tech. I don't think anybody's like dying to go bet Georgia Tech or anything. But I mean, Louisville has Carolina tomorrow. Like, that's just too much. And then a lot of it too was Georgia Tech just got embarrassed by Virginia on their home court. They were down 40 at one point to Virginia. Like, I know Sotomayor's probably getting fired, and I thought he did a decent job, Pacific. Like, I didn't think it was a terrible job, but they're actually doing really well now. So maybe there is higher ceilings than I thought there in the WCC. But, like, yeah, maybe he's not a good coach. But so I was like, you know what? from what I know and what I've heard, like he is kind of a player's first coach, and the players do like him. I'm like, he's gonna get them up and be like, you know what? We just got embarrassed in our home court. We're Division I athletes too. We got ACC scholarships as well. Like we're gonna go out here and we're gonna show that we can compete, and that's what they did. They got smoked. They were down 26 at one point, but they fought back, and I mean, yeah, it was just a clear look ahead. So another cash here. Yeah, we only lost one game in the ACC, which normally is not like a conference I even like try to bet on a lot of. Not a lot of eyes on this one. Did not bet it, but SMU covers. They won 94-70 over Boston College. Seems like the trend continues. SMU takes care of business against the bad teams, loses to the good teams. This one was a little sneaky and a little smelly, but we went in on it. Cal 72, Stanford 66. Mark Madsen keeps the Golden Bears' hopes alive for the NCAA tournament. Kyle Smith and Stanford are dead. As much as I do like Kyle Smith, I still was kind of surprised they ended up taking this job. Stanford job's not an easy one, obviously, with all the academics. But good win for Cal. They controlled this basically from start to finish. Stanford got chippy halfway through the second half, kind of made us a game, made Cal sweat a little bit, but they took care of business. And, yeah, I mean, their resume's not crazy impressive, but, I mean, they're right there. And now we got to get to the game of the day. Arguably the game of the day. Duke 68, Michigan, everybody's national champion that I just keep hearing from everybody. Like, they should be minus 500 to win the national championship, apparently. 63. Duke, it's time to believe. Yeah. Hands up. I wasn't a doubter by any means. It was just something I was like, you know what, let me see it more. Like the Texas Tech one, the game, like it kind of bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. I really don't know why I wasn't just super high on this Duke team. I think Shire's an incredible coach. Like that's never. I think he's kind of a baby when it comes to the court storming stuff. But I think he's a really good basketball coach, and I don't know if it was Boozer. It just the fact that we're young. It wasn't Cooper Flagg, because Cooper Flagg and Knipple were two of the craziest freshmen we've ever seen. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I wasn't high on Duke. I mean, like I obviously thought they were a top 10 team, but I was like, this team can't win a national title. I don't see it. They proved it out here, man. Cam Boozer, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. He was in foul trouble early. Michigan had some foul trouble as well. Damar had 2 fouls in like the first 5 minutes. I would say Michigan probably didn't play their best game. I don't think Duke also played their best game, though. I think both teams kind of wouldn't be crazy impressed with the way they play. They played today, or on yesterday, sorry. But that's a big one, man. That's a big one. We need more of these neutral, these out-of-conference games. Maybe not put them on home courts. Don't do the neutral court shit. But I don't understand why everybody was just so quick to crown Michigan the national champions. Like me personally, as it sits here on February 22nd, I have 6 teams in mind that can win the national title. I don't see a 7th. It would be Houston, Iowa State, Arizona, Florida, Duke, and Michigan. If you want to include UConn, I will allow the conversation. You have a talented team, and you have Dan Hurley as your head coach. I will entertain that idea. But everybody that was out here just ready to give Michigan the national title, it's insane, man. It's the hardest sport in the world to win. You have to win 6 games and to get or 6 games to win the national title. You got to win 4 to get to the Final Four. Of those 6 teams that I mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't have Michigan in the top 3. I don't, because I love the roster. Outside of a couple things. You have the bigs. You got the big wing. You got the NBA player with the Axel Lindenberg. Damar will play in the NBA as well. But what wins in March and in these games and crunch time and stuff like that, you need a scoring guard. You need a point guard that can go get you a bucket. And Elliot Cadeau is not that guy. He's just not that guy. I don't I don't care that Michigan is beating up on bad Big Ten teams. And yes, they're going to get a lot of teams in the field. Good luck with that, man. We've seen this. This has been going on my entire life. Everybody sucks off the Big Ten, and then once the NCAA tournament comes around, they get the shit kicked out of them because they go up against actual athletes. It's just how the sport is, man. Dude, I would say like the bottom. Like if you look at the Big Ten standings, pull the Big Ten standings right now. Yeah, it's gonna be like a soapbox thing for me a little bit. Illinois 13-4 in the Big, or currently in conference, they're 13-4 in the Big Ten. That's probably, I would say, what, 10-7 in the Big 12. Purdue's 12-4. That's 9-8 in the Big, or 12-4. That's math's not my strong suit. 10-6. Like, dude, you're not beating these teams in like real teams. Like Nebraska is your fourth place team. Good fucking luck. There's 6 fucking teams in the Big 12 that are better. There's a bunch of teams in the SEC that are better. Michigan can 100% win a national title, but I would not put them ahead of Iowa State. I would not put them ahead of Houston. I would not put them ahead of Arizona. I would not put them ahead of Florida. And I would not put them ahead of Duke. Like, they're in the conversation, but to have them as the favorite, it is what it is. It's Vegas' opinion. I don't foresee that opinion. I really do not think they win the national title. I would take the field in a heartbeat. It's the people that are like, oh, just give it to them. It's like, no. Like, no. Like, it's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. So I was glad to see Duke fucking put them in their place. And that, yeah, they were like, oh, I heard people on Twitter like, well, it would be really good, if, their big man wasn't in foul trouble. Like, Cam Boozer, the best player in the country, was in foul trouble half the game. And he was fine. Like, get the fuck out of here. And just because I don't have you, like, I wouldn't say you're like one of the 5 best teams. Like, I don't think they really are right now. Like, doesn't mean you can't win it all still. I just prefer Houston, Arizona, Iowa State, Duke, and Florida. It's just kind of how it is, man. So, great win for Duke. Tired of the Big Ten and these Michigan fans being on my ass. It's good to see him put into place. Let's get to a real conference with some real basketball teams now for the Big 12. It's kind of like, well, maybe I should have held that statement for a second there because Kansas loses to Cincinnati at home as 11-point favorites. We took the points, but since on the show, we didn't bet it. Cincinnati wins by 16 at Fall Gallon. I want to go on my rant about Darren Peterson, I really do, but I'm done talking about it. I don't care anymore. I don't. If I was Bill Self, I would tell him kick rocks, go to the league. I'm done with you, man. What's the point? What's the point of playing every other time? Kansas beat the number 1 team in the country, Arizona, who I probably would say is the best team in the country. We'll see in March with Tommy Lloyd, but without him, man, we don't need you. Now, no, I don't think Kansas can win the national title without Darren Peterson. I don't. But this on the court and then off the court stuff isn't also like, I'm going to play, and then, no, I can't play. I'm going to play this game. Like, and I can't play. It's just not going to work. I would tell the kid, kick rocks, go to the NBA. You're going to be a great player, but we're good here. We're good. And I really do think this is going to change a lot of the ways that college coaches go about actively recruiting some of these star freshmen. Especially with maybe, I don't know. It might not. I feel like it should. This could just be a one-off. I'm done talking about it. Kansas got a big one tomorrow against Houston at home. I really don't know what I'm going to do there yet. But really good win for Cincinnati. Wes Miller is doing the Undertaker right now. He is rising from the dead, finding a way to save his job. Cincinnati's like firmly on the bubble now. Like, Cincinnati's got dudes, man. Like, they can make the tournament. As crazy as it sounds, their schedule isn't fucking crazy. So you're 15-12 right now. You have to go to Lubbock, which is a tough task. You just won in Fall Gallon. And Texas Tech obviously doesn't have JT Toppin anymore. Then you're home against Oklahoma State, home against BYU. I think you win both of those. And can you go to TCU and get a win there? You win those last 4 games, you're 19-12, you're dancing, Wes Miller, and you're saving your job, which would be a 180, man, because I was so freaking high on Wes Miller when he got this job, and I buried him when they were in the tough part of the season, and now I'm like starting to finally come out of it. Like, dude, Wes, save my take. You have the chance to save my take for me. And I really hope they do it. Great win for Cincinnati. I love to see another Big 12 team on the bubble get a shot, because the fact that we're only going to get 8 teams in is a fucking joke. All right, then we ate shit on this one. Kansas State got blitzed by Texas Tech. Now, score's a little deceiving. It was 172. They won by 28. This was a 20-point loss, but it was the one-game bump, and even without not having a lot of depth, it was all fine. They were banging all the threes. Christian Anderson was unbelievable. Kansas State's just a dead team walking. They already they used their one-game bump. I think more of my angle was, like, Toppin was such a giant part of that team, and I do think Kansas State has guys, but when they're that wet from 3 in that building, just kind of took over. It was a no-brainer. It still sucks, the fact that we're not going to have JT Toppin for the rest of the year with a team that I really do think could have won the national title with Texas Tech. All right, another awesome game. Arizona goes into Houston and wins outright, 73-66. Wow. That's the best win of the season. Say what you want. Duke's win is admission or neutral. I would probably put it second. I think it's the best one of the season. Arizona goes into Houston. Houston does not lose at home. And Arizona, I have to eat crow here because I question their toughness after they played that Texas Tech game. I thought Texas Tech bullied them around. Was too physical on the glass. The guards were physical. Burry struggled in that game. Well, dude, they went out and they fucking out-physicaled the most physical team in the sport in the Houston Cougars and Kelvin Sampson. What a fucking win. Now, they jumped Houston early. And I think they got up it was 11-2 to start the game. Houston weathered the storm. They go into halftime. Arizona's up like 6. This is just off the top of my dome. Second half rolls around. Houston gets all the way back, takes the lead. And I'm like, okay, this is over. The Houston crowd, Kelvin Sampson, veteran team, best team in the country. At the time, I thought, because I think they got dethroned now. I think it's back to Arizona. And they made all the key plays down the stretch. And then for Houston, guys like Sharp missed couple big free throws. Tugler missed some free throws. Arizona made the plays down the stretch that Houston couldn't and pulled away. What a fucking win, man. This Arizona team. And you know what's the crazy thing is? They took Krivas off the court and they went small. They can beat you in a couple different ways. And now the three-point shooting I still think is eventually going to matter, but they made them in this game. Arizona's really good, man. Tommy Lloyd in March could potentially still be a thing. We'll see once the tournament actually rolls around. But yeah, man, that's a big win. And for Houston, man, that's 2 losses in a row, and you're going to Fog Allen tomorrow. Oh, that's a tough one. That is one of the hardest games I've ever seen, with just maybe not from a matchup and stylistic standpoint, but just from the narrative part of it. Like, how do I handicap this? Because you have Kansas losing at home at Fog to a not a good Cincinnati team by 16, but then you have Houston off 2 losses. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be an awesome game. It's going to be an awesome game, though. If I had to lean anywhere right now, you know me, I'd still probably take Houston. But, I mean, if Jeremy Patterson can't handle a Cincinnati team, like, good luck with this fucking Houston team, man. Oklahoma State and Colorado. We kind of called it. We knew Colorado was going to win this one outright. They win by 7. God, I don't hate Colorado, man. There's something about them, man, especially in Boulder. But I kind of like this team. For Steve Lutz, it's probably done. Not him as a coach. He's a fantastic coach. I'm saying, like, they're not making the tournament this year. It is what it is. I think another year. I think he's got like another 2 years to get him there before, we're really starting to question things. Like, he's a damn good basketball coach. Like, people know that. But yeah, it's going to be really hard for him to get in. And the schedule's doesn't get any easier for the Cowboys. Oh my God, the team I hate more than fucking anything in the fucking world. Baylor beats Arizona State 73-68. Arizona State gets the cover. Baylor gets the win to improve to 4-10 in Big 12 play. One of the more underachieving teams in the conference. Arizona State was out the majority of this game. Baylor fights back, gets a big win. Carr had one of the nastiest throwback dunks I've seen in a long time in this game. But it's kind of just another meaningless game in the Big 12 here. Just the bottom half. Just from a Baylor team, man, I don't know what's... I have no words for why they're this bad. Now, this one just pains me. I really don't even want to talk about it. TCU 60, West Virginia 54. TCU gets the cover. We didn't bet on it, but I picked West Virginia like we always do. I mean, I thought West Virginia was going to win this game for a majority, the majority of the game. They controlled the game. They were winning in this game late into the second half. But then West Virginia does this thing where they forget how to play basketball offensively for 5-minute stretches, and that was conveniently when TCU was just hitting everything, and it is what it is, man. It's year one for Ross Hodge. West Virginia's going to have to win the Big 12 tournament to get in. Like, I don't see another way. Like, even if they win their last 4, which I don't, at this point, I just don't see it happening, even winning those games. But even if they did, it's probably a wrap. It is what it is. I think Hodge is a good coach. I think we're on the right path, but it's not it, man. We'll wait for we got Sadler coming in next year. We got a 5-star, which is kind of nice, but yeah, it's done for this year. It is what it is, UCF gets a big win against Utah. What was the final there? 73-71. It's a back-and-forth game the majority of the way. Huge win for Johnny Dawkins. Keeps the Golden Knights right there because they ended up floating back to like the last 4 in kind of area. But getting a big win like that kind of secures them a spot. I think they're fine. Unless the whole bottom falls out, they're making the dance. So, good win there for the Golden Knights. BYU beats Iowa State 79-69 in our... The 69 is perfect for the Lee Sam Bowl. It was a big win for BYU, and I think we hit the handicap pretty easily here. It was the get-up spot after the kind of obvious drill spot for them in the Arizona game. Iowa State was due to drop one after beating Houston and Kansas. They're going all the way to Provo, Utah. That's a really, really hard building to play. The players rallied around the Saunders injury. DeBonta played out of his mind. Rob Wright played out of his mind. Cada played out of his mind. Like they frustrated Iowa State from the get-go. Controlled this game, basically wire to wire. Really good win for the Cougars. I still think there's a ceiling to this now without having Richie Saunders. But, I mean, I don't know, man. You still have maybe the number 1 pick in the draft. So they play a little different. They're probably going to play a little different now, and it's going to be a lot more isolation ball. If you do have 2 guys like Rob Wright and AJ DeBonta, who they can just continue to, just go freaking nuclear and find ways to win basketball games. Like I think they got a shot to at least. I think Elite Eight's probably still the ceiling. I think it's probably still the ceiling, but when you got 2 guys like that, you never know. Now, can they defend to that level? I don't know. Now, this is one we ate a giant pile of shit here. We went in with Creighton plus 13.5. We even talked about it. Are we getting kind of cute and going in with the team that just won outright in stores? And we did. they got drilled by 29. Johnny's really good, man. Johnny's really good. What is that, 15-1 now in Big East play? They're the team nobody's talking about, and that is just what you like that for Rick Pitino. I really think they could be another dark horse there. Butler beats Xavier by 5, 80-75, and win the game outright. I guess they weren't underdogs, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, good win for Thad Matta. Good win for Thad Matta. Still think he's probably canned at the end of this year, but you know what? They're still playing for him. Like, Butler's a team I'm still going to be looking at to find betting spots for because they are actually still playing hard for him. This was a pretty fun one for the majority of the time, but UConn edges out. Villanova was 73-63 on the road. We end up betting UConn, so that was a good one. We picked that one on the show. Yeah, UConn's really good. That was a good bounce back for him after that Creighton loss, and I think Villanova, as talented as they are, they're still getting reminded a little bit of what, like, we're not this Jay Wright Villanova team just yet. This one was this was a really, really fun watch. Seton Hall beats Georgetown 51-47. Yeah, 51-47 is a fun watch if you really like grit and grind basketball. Like, this was a rock fight. Seton Hall is probably done. They have to win the Big East tournament, but I think they can. That's the crazy thing. I think they can. Now, Saturday, they go to UConn. If they win that one, like, you're right on the bubble again, but I don't really foresee that. But, dude, they can string some wins together. Sheen Holloway is one of the 10 best coaches in the country, in my opinion. Those guys play hard, and they're not crazy talented. Bud Clark, I think, is a really good offensive player, but he fits the gritty point guard for Sheen Holloway. Kind of probably reminds him of himself. Watch out for Seton Hall, man. I like my Pirates. I think they got somewhat of a chance here. And then DePaul and Providence. DePaul falls short. Providence goes into DePaul and gets the win. Congratulations, Kim English. Congratulations. You beat up on DePaul. To the Big Ten. I ended up going in on this one. Minnesota beats the brakes off of Rutgers 80-61. Blowout, basically start to finish. Good win for Medvet. The Barn is still a really hard place to play at. Kind of the same with this one. Nebraska beats Penn State 87-64. Cover that number with ease. Not a lot to get to on this one either. This one was a sharp one here. We went in on this one. We were confused of what the line was, why this line was this way. I didn't understand it. Maryland wins outright 64-60. Plus 170 on the money line. We cash on that one. We cash on the plus 4.5. I mean, who is Washington be laying points against anybody going east or going to west to east? And Maryland's been playing some pretty good ball since they got a little more healthy too. And I don't know. I thought more than anything. I thought this line was crazy. Like, I thought I switched it around at first, that Maryland was favored, and then I was like, oh, why is Maryland laying this many points? But no, that was a great win for Maryland. Oh, this one's not good for USC here. They lose to Oregon 71-70. We picked the Ducks on the show. I wish we would have bet them. Altman gets his, third win in the Big Ten this year? But man, fucking USC. I cannot believe you blew this. Like, they're firmly right on the bubble again. Like, I don't think they should be an NCAA tournament team, to be honest with you. I don't think they're very good. 18-9 on the year, 7-9 in the Big Ten. I don't think it's good enough to make the NCAA tournament. Now, you still have games on deck. Granted, they got UCLA twice. Could lose both. Washington and Nebraska. Like, it's not a crazy hard schedule. It's not a crazy easy one either. But I do think now the Musselman has them. They're right back on the bubble. Now, I thought the call at the end was kind of shitty on Batil. But USC was up 1. Batil gets fired, goes to the line, knocks them both down, and USC does not score. The game ends. It is what it is. But I thought it was a bad call. But who knows? That's one of your musts, man. You can't lose that one, especially with how bad Oregon has been all season long. Now this one we did go in on that, but I didn't lock. I ended up betting UCLA. I picked UCLA on the show. I didn't lock it up on the show, so I do apologize for that. But the Bruins beat Illinois 95-94 in overtime. Donovan Dent goes coast to coast to lay it in at the buzzer to knock off the Fighting Illini. Now, awesome win for UCLA. Glad to see Donovan Dent playing some of his best ball. That UCLA team is really, really talented, man. They were a preseason Final Four team for me. If they can put this together, Mick Hernan can quit crying, at all these press conferences. Why not them? They're playing some of the best ball. We've seen them do it as a double-digit seed before. They might be even better seed than that this year. But on the flip side for Illinois, Illinois is really good, but I don't see it. I don't see these people acting like they can win the national title, go to a Final Four. They cannot play fucking defense. And I'm not even talking about the Ole defense to let Dent go coast to coast and land at the buzzer. When they need to get a stop, they cannot get a stop. I dare say they're white, and they're not athletes. They're not athletic. They are incredibly offensively. They are incredibly. They move the ball. They can all shoot. They all know where to be. They have the bigs. They can't stop. They can't get a stop. There's going to happen in the tournament. There's going to be a game where they can't buy a bucket, and they can't stop anybody. Illinois is going to be a team. Now, they might make the Elite Eight. They're not making a Final Four. I can tell you that right now. Illinois is not a Final Four team, and they were. Anybody that wants to offer me, I will bet you $100 Illinois does not make the Final Four. Granted, that's a tough bet. I will bet you $100 that'll make the Final Four to make the Elite Eight. You can drop it to 50. I think they're going to lose in the second weekend. That's my prediction. Now, the bracket's not out yet, but I think they're going to get dropped in the second weekend of the tournament because I just do not buy into this team defensively whatsoever. We're going to go off strictly CBS. Jerry Palm's a terrible bracketologist, but it was the easiest to load up. So we would have the 7-10 matchup being UCF or Villanova. Villanova can 100% beat them because they defend, and so could UCF because they defend. Illinois don't. As good as their offense is, it's utterly incredible. Until you buy in defensively, I'm just not going to believe this team is a Final Four contender. I won't. And then, not to mention, Brad Underwood hasn't done shit in the tournament. He made an Elite Eight a couple years ago. That's it. After that, he lost. He was like, he made round two. It's yeah, but he's been good seeds. Remember that one seed that got fucked up by Cam Krutwig, whatever his name was for Loyola Chicago? That wasn't a great Loyola Chicago team. Not by any means. I can't do it. Not with an Underwood coach team and not with a team that doesn't play defense. All right, easy one here. Florida took care of business against Ole Miss. This floated around the number the entire way. I'm pulling up the final score now. They ended up winning that by 19. It floated around this number, but Gators pull away late. Florida could 100% win the national title again. They should be mentioned in the top 3 teams with probably Houston, Arizona, and Florida would be my 3. You got to throw Duke in there too now. So 4. You got to throw Michigan, Iowa State. There's only 6 teams. Those are the 6 teams. I won't consider UConn, though. That's my 7 realistic teams that can win the national title. Outside of those 7, you can paint the path. I just won't believe it. I just do not see a scenario where one of those 7 do not win the national title. I actually kind of hate shit in the SEC. Ole Miss gets fucked up by South Carolina. Great win for Lamont Parrish in South Carolina. Bad play by me. South Carolina had to get one. And this was the one. And I went on the other sides because I'm a Jans guy. I were sharp on this one, though. Tennessee goes into Vanderbilt, gets the win outright. What is it, 69-65? Don't look now. Rick Barnes has won 8 out of his last 9, and this Tennessee team is playing some of the best basketball I've seen all season long. They have Missouri at Missouri Tuesday, and then they go to Alabama Saturday. And then they play South Carolina and Vanderbilt. I think his team's going to finish 24-7. They're going to win out. 14-4 in the SEC. Tennessee's a team I think that can be a team that can push for the Final Four. I do. As much as I like that Dalton Connect team and the team last year, I really like this team. I think Nate Ament is playing some of the best basketball. I love Jacoby Gillespie. The front court's really strong. Just, obviously, Rick Barnes and March. That is a thing still. Unfortunately, it is a thing still. But I do think Tennessee is actually playing some of the best basketball in the country, and that one is also just kind of not being mentioned a ton. Georgia fucks up Texas. Bad play by me. 91-90. Kind of back and forth. Kind of not really. Georgia kind of went wire to wire on this one. Yeah, they got up double digits, and they just basically never looked back. Good one for the Bulldogs. Both these teams should be in the NCAA tournament. Did Arkansas cover? I don't remember. 10.5 was the close. Now, Missouri got the cover. This was 94-86. I wouldn't have closed lower than that, though. So good cover by Missouri. Probably you won this one, you would have been in the dance for sure. But I don't know. It's a rivalry game. We took the points on the show. Didn't want to bet it, though. Now, this was kind of funny. Alabama wins this game by 7. I'm not pulling the score up here just because I want to talk about it. This ended up getting a 7.5. I went in on the Tigers, and they cover by the hook. Yeah, it was a good cover by LSU. This is actually kind of a fun game, like just from watching. Like both teams were making a lot of shots. LSU was actually defending really hard. It's just a back and forth kind of game. Oh, I don't even want to talk about this one, but I have to. Oklahoma gets Texas A&M beats Oklahoma. I don't remember the final score. Let's pull it up. 75-71. Good one for Buckyball. I thought this was the one that Oklahoma had to get. And with the A&M, but A&M coming off that losing streak, they really needed this one. And, good win. Going for Buckyball. I think it'll be a 9-10 seed in the tournament. I think you're still a little bit fool's gold, but this is year one of Buckyball, so it is what it is. Porter Moser, next head coach at Butler. He's going to go back to the Midwest. I say Butler is his next spot. I think we only have one more game to recap, and then we are out of here. Kentucky, Auburn. Whew, what a game. We get the cover, the plus 2.5. It's why you take those points. They're 2 free points. They went 75-74 with basically a layup at the buzzer to win this game. They did kind of have a shot. They tried to do that full court thing they did against LSU. The ball actually kind of bounced their way, but it dribbled off the player's leg. No shot up there. Really good win by Auburn. It's a gutsy win. Kentucky kind of controlled this for the majority of the second half. They battled back. Coach Pearl Jr. It's not Pearl Jr. Stephen Pearl. As a good win. And they were trending in the wrong direction and being on the verge of missing the tournament. So a win like that is going to go a long way. I still don't really know what to think of. I don't think Auburn deserves to be in the NCAA tournament, but I don't make the bracket. So, really good win. We got the cover, but I had a parlay of, not the parlay guy, Duke money line, UCLA money line, BYU money line, Kentucky money line, and lost around the edges there. That's it. I'll be back later this week for some picks. I will see you guys then. I am out of here.